All right, so we're going to talk to you today about some maintenance that almost anybody can do. Cabin air filter, engine air filter. We'll discuss the filters, how to change them, and talk about the service intervals that Toyota recommends. So let's go. Okay, so let's start off and talk about the cabin air filter. I chose the Beck Arnley cabin air filter based solely on Beck Arnley's name. I bought Beck Arnley products for years, and here in the last few years, yes, some of their products have gone down in quality, but I went ahead and took a gamble on the Beck Arnley filter, and it actually paid off this time. So if you will look right here on the end of the box, I think you can see that it says made in the USA. Made me very happy. Beck Arnley is based in Smyrna, Tennessee. While I know that they're probably not making their own filters, they probably have them contracted out. It does say they're made here in the USA. This filter is a high quality, and you can tell just because of the way that it is. No, I'm kidding. This filter is a very good quality made filter. You can look at it, see from the construction that it's made just like the OEM. I've had the OEM filter out and looked at it. It's made just like it. Look here on this end, it has arrows for direction of flow, and it says made in USA right here on the side. This is a charcoal impregnated air filter, which should help to remove any foul odors from the interior car, or help keep them dampened down should you have any foul odors. Those of us that have had little kids at one time or another know all about dropped crumbs and food and how that can contribute to the odors in your car. So anyway, very pleased with this filter. Now let's move on to the engine air. I bought a Wix solely based on the reputation of Wix, and when this filter got here, well, I was less than happy. Let's open it up. Get it out of the box. There we go. What does that say right there? Yep. Made in China. Now, looking at the air filter, I don't see anything that just really stands out at me. I've checked the rubber foam seal all the way around. It seems like it's, you know, pliable. Looks like it's very similarly made to the OEM style filter. But I was thinking that buying a Wix that I would probably get something made in the USA, and I was thinking when I bought the Beck Arnley I might get something made in China. Turns out it's the exact opposite. I probably will go ahead and buy another engine air filter and next time I make a Rock Auto order, and I will order a Beck Arnley engine air filter and see if it actually comes in as made in the USA. So I don't see anything wrong with this filter. We're going to go ahead and use it because the one that is in here, as with the cabin air filter, has just a little over 30,000 miles, and that is the recommended change interval by Toyota, is 30,000 miles, unless of course you are driving in extremely dusty conditions. This vehicle doesn't ever see off-road. It's all driven on interstate or local roads. I don't know that we've ever been on dirt but once or twice in the whole time we've owned this vehicle, which is coming up on right at a year and a half. So now let's get into talking about actually installing these filters. Not a lot to it. No hand tools are required. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to do, let your glove box door down and clean everything out of the glove box. The next thing you're going to want to do is, do you see this little thing right here? This is your glove box door damper. All you want to do is just take your finger and stick behind it and pop it off of that little post. Really nothing to it. Now I'm going to have to set the camera down for just a minute and hopefully get you a good angle and show you what you need to do to drop the glove box door down. There is right here and right here are the rest for your glove box door. All you have to do, and it's pretty stiff, but just gently pull in on the sides of your glove box door. And there's a pin there, and a rest there, and a rest there. And you let the glove box door down, and then you can just gently slide it off. You can see right here and right here, there's a couple of slots down here on the bottom that it locks in. We'll talk about that more later. Now, let's get up inside the dash, and I'll show you what you have to do there. Now, once you have the glove box door down, you see this little thing right here. It has the words up written on it. All right, well, you've got right on the end these little pins right here. You can see them moving. All you have to do is squeeze them together and pull it towards you, and then it just simply slips out of the other end. Lay that on the floor, get it out of your way. Your cabin air filter is right there. Slides straight out and sits in this plastic tray. So let's get out here on the bench and I'll show you what you got to do to get it out of here and get the new filter in. Okay, so you got your flat surface to work on. I'm just working on top of my garbage can lid at the moment. But just take the filter and make sure you pay attention, because this filter actually has orientation on it. It says up, and that's probably and it's going to indicate direction of airflow. So you want to stick with that. And if you look right here, it has indication of airflow. This filter is a much heavier made filter than the Toyota OEM filter. This is pretty light. This one, like I said, pretty heavy. But you take your little plastic tray, and it's got 4 tabs on it, and you just slide it in under those tabs, spin it around, and kind of work it down past those tabs, and boom, it falls right in place. Nothing to it. So now let's go back to the car, and I'll show you how to reinstall it. Piece of cake. Okay, to reinstall your cabin air filter, start with this end, and it says up. Follow those instructions. Just stick it back in the tray, slide it back into place. You've got your cover. It says up. You got 2 little tabs on that end, and you got 2 slots right up here. And if you'll just carefully slide it in place, if you'll look, you saw me trying to shift and make sure that the filter was in the right spot. But do you see right there on that? I just noticed this. Those 2 little spikes stick out and actually orient and make sure that the filter is tucked tightly into place. But line those 2 pins up, roll it forward, and that's it. The little lock tabs automatically engage. Cabin air filter is installed. Now let's talk about this glove box, because when the first time I did this off camera, just to make sure I understood everything that needed to be understood, I had trouble getting this glove box door back exactly where it needed to be. So I'm going to talk about it. Down here on the bottom, you can see that there are little groove slots on both sides. And right here, there's 2 spots on that side and 2 spots on that side. You need to make sure that it is fully engaged and pushed into those slots before you try to close the glove box door. Otherwise, it will not close. Ask me how I know. So, let me get the camera set up here and we'll get to reinstalling the glove box door. It's not hard. Just need to make sure that the slots are engaged properly. All right, let's see if we can do it right this time, the first time. Line up the slots. Make sure you have to push in some. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you over. Push in some, and out here on the end, Remember how easy it was to take this piece off there on this end, your damper? I'll bring you around. This damper right here, I can't run camera and do it, but all there is to it is to line up the hole on the damper with that pin and it just slides right back on. Nothing to it. Now, on each side, you have those two glove box door rests. You can gently just push the door and it should pop. And that's them going back in. Just like I said, don't get crazy, just gently push it back in and there you go. Glove box door is reinstalled. Nothing to it. Throw your stuff back in and you're done. So let's move on to the engine air filter. All right, so a lot of people are going to get under here and they're going to look and they're going to go, oh my gosh, all this stuff that we have to undo. Well, I have proven, done it off camera just so I could prove to myself that it could be done, is you can change this air filter without undoing anything but the clips that hold the air filter door closed. So let's get into it. Get a good view of it right here. So a clamp, and right there is a clamp, and all you have to do is pop them off and then there you go. So now let's get in here and I'll show you how to get this air filter out without having to undo your air snorkel. This is probably like a mass airflow sensor. You don't have to undo any of the wiring, none of that. Okay, gently pick up on the front edge of the box, slide the box forward. There are two pins in two loops. Pins slide in the loops of the base of the box. All you have to do is gently lift up on the edge of the box. All of this will give. It's rubber. It's new, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking anything. You're not putting anything at stress. There's no wires being stressed or anything. So gently lift the filter out, and there's just enough room that it will slide out on the outside of the box. All right, so now let's go ahead and we will install the new filter. Again, gently lift up on the box. And before we stick this new filter down in here, let's talk about this box. The lower part of the box, the base part, will actually accumulate light dirt, sand, debris, leaves, anything that happens to bugs, anything that kind of happens to get sucked in through the front end of the vehicle and the snorkel, and will get deposited in this box. Okay, so what you can do is take a shop vac and stick down in here and suck out any debris that happens to be caught in the base of the box. I can see into mine. There's almost nothing in here because, as I said, this vehicle, we rarely ever have been in an off-road condition where it would get a lot of debris. So I don't really need to do anything to the box at this point. So let's go ahead and get the filter snuck back down in there. Like I said, there's just enough room to get the filter back in place. You want to make sure that the filter is seated all the way into where it's supposed to be, that none of the pleats are hanging you up, and it is sitting on the base of the box. Now, allow the base of the box to go down, and you can take two hands, push down gently on the back of the box, and lift up on the front and push to the back, and you want so that you can align your pins in those slides. And you push down on the front of the box. And let me try if I can swap up so that you can see. Push down on the front of the box to hold it because the foam in this is new, so it's going to give a little resistance. Snap that one in place. And you may have to, like I said, push down on the corner of the box and snap that one in place. And there you go. Nothing to it. Okay guys, there you go. One thing I did want to note real quick on this filter, look right there. You can see that this is a Toyota factory filter. It is the original filter that came with the vehicle. and it is a Denso brand, and it is made in the US of A. So, like I said, I will be looking at the possibly buying a Beck Arnley filter for the Engineer filter, and seeing if there how much difference there is, and if there's any notable quality differences between this filter and a Beck Arnley filter, and if it is viable for use. I am going to go ahead and run this Wix filter. I don't really see anything wrong with it, other than the fact that, well, I like to try to buy as quality a product as I can, and I have had issues with Chinese made stuff. It is what it is. It's the world we live in. So, thank you for coming by today. I hope this has been helpful for you. And as always, if you like what you see here, go down there and hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Criticism, I can take it. I can take both. And if you'd like to see more content like this, watch a video coming on the screen right now.